Discover timeless principles for success, growth, and change. Let these powerful words from Dr. Myles Munroe guide you into purpose, vision, and transformation. This is more than a message, it's a journey for your life.
Why do you work so hard when no one sees you? They would ask. But he understood something they didn't. Excellence isn't about being seen. Excellence is about becoming. One day, the owner's most important client, a renowned food critic, visited the restaurant. The head chef was sick, and chaos erupted in the kitchen. In that moment of crisis, this young man stepped forward without saying a word. He began creating a dish that wasn't even on the menu. The kitchen fell silent as they watched him work with precision, with purpose, with passion. When the dish was served, the food critic didn't just eat. He stood up and demanded to meet the chef. That young man owns 3 of the most successful restaurants in our nation. Excellence has a voice that silences criticism. When you become so good at what you do, the very people who ignored you will have no choice but to pay attention. But here's what most people don't understand: excellence isn't an event. It's a habit. It's not something you do sometimes. It's who you become. Look at your hands right now. In those hands lies potential that hasn't been fully expressed. In your mind exists ideas that haven't been fully explored. The question isn't whether you have greatness within you. The question is whether you're willing to pay the price to bring it out. Mediocrity is the enemy of greatness. It whispers to you. That's good enough, it tells you. Nobody will notice anyway, but I'm here to tell you something. The world is desperately waiting for people who refuse to be average. The marketplace is crying out for individuals who understand that being good isn't good enough. Your excellence isn't just about you. When you decide to be exceptional, you give others permission to do the same. When you refuse to settle for average, you create a new standard that elevates everyone around you. This is why excellence isn't optional. It's essential. It's not just about being better than others. It's about being better than you were yesterday. The journey of excellence begins with a decision that from this moment forward, whatever you do, you'll do it with everything you have. Whether someone is watching or not, whether you're getting paid for it or not, whether you feel like it or not, you choose excellence. Because when you become so good, they can't ignore you. You're not just changing your life, you're changing the world around you. And this is just the beginning of understanding what it truly means to be unforgettable. In the quietness of your preparation, when nobody is applauding, when nobody is watching, that's where greatness is born. See, there's something powerful about those hidden years, those moments when you're working and nobody knows your name. I've discovered something profound about success, that it's attracted to preparation. But most people don't want to hear this truth. When I was traveling through Asia, I visited a master craftsman who made the most extraordinary furniture pieces. His work was displayed in palaces and prestigious hotels. But what caught my attention wasn't his success. IT was his story. For 15 years, he worked in a small workshop, perfecting his craft. 15 years. Most people can't stay committed to anything for 15 minutes if they don't see immediate results. This craftsman told me something that changed my perspective forever. He said, the world sees my work for its beauty, but they don't see the 1,000 pieces of wood I ruined learning how to create that beauty. You see, what people call talent is often just years of dedicated practice hidden from public view. Why most people quit too early. They're in love with the destination but not the journey. They want the penthouse view but don't want to build the building. They want the gold medal but don't want to train when it's raining. Listen to me carefully. The difference between those who make it and those who don't isn't talent. It's preparation. It's the willingness to work when others are sleeping. It's the commitment to excellence when nobody is giving you a standing ovation. Every single day, I meet people who tell me, I want to be successful, and I ask them, what did you read last week? Silence. What new skill did you learn last month? More silence. What mentor did you connect with this year? Even more silence. You see, personal development isn't something you do when you feel like it. It's not optional. It's as essential as breathing is to living. Success, not an accident. It's not luck. It's not about who you know. Success is attracted to preparation. When preparation meets opportunity, people call it luck. But there's no such thing as luck, Dot. There's only preparation meeting opportunity. Athlete, when they step onto the field and perform magnificently, people call it natural talent. But what they don't see are the countless hours in the gym. They don't see the strict diet. They don't see the early morning training sessions. They don't see the injuries and the rehabilitation. They just see the glory. But the glory is just the tip of the iceberg. That preparation is the massive foundation beneath the surface. Your preparation period is not your failing period. Those years when nobody knows your name, when your phone isn't ringing, when your social media isn't buzzing, that those aren't your failing years. Those are your preparation years. And how you handle your preparation period will determine how you handle your success period. Preparation, not just about acquiring skills, it's about becoming. While you're preparing, you're not just learning how to do something, you're becoming someone. You're developing character. You're building stamina. You're cultivating wisdom. This is why personal development isn't negotiable. You can't delegate your personal growth to someone else. Nobody can do your push-ups for you. Most people want microwave success in the crock-pot world. They want instant results in a process that demands time. But here's what separates the extraordinary from the ordinary, Doc. The extraordinary understand that preparation time is never wasted time. Every book you read, every skill you master, every relationship you build, every lesson you learn, Doc, it's all preparation for opportunities you haven't even seen yet. Your preparation period is your advantage. While others are complaining about their circumstances, you're preparing to change yours. While others are waiting for opportunities, you're becoming the kind of person who creates opportunities. While others are asking, when will my time come? You're asking, how can I be ready when my time comes? And remember, this dark preparation doesn't just prepare you for success. It prepares you to sustain success. Many people can achieve success, but few can sustain it. Why? Because they focused on reaching the destination without building the character to stay there. This is why personal development must become your lifestyle, not just your goal. Every day, you must make deposits in your personal growth account. Every day, you must commit to becoming better than you were yesterday. Inside of you lies something so unique, so powerful, that nobody else on this planet has it quite like you do. I've traveled to over 130 countries, met thousands of people, and I've discovered something profound that everyone has a gift. But most people die with their gift still inside them. Why? Because they spend their lives trying to be someone else. There's a difference between imitating and innovating. When you imitate, you're always second best. But when you innovate, when you tap into your authentic gift, you create a category of one. Nobody can compete with you because nobody can be you. This is what I call your unique contribution. I met a young artist who was struggling to make a living. She was talented, no doubt about it. But she was painting what she thought would sell, copying styles that were popular. One day, she decided to paint from her own experiences, her own culture, her own pain. She created something that had never been seen before. Today, her work hangs in major galleries around the world. Why? Because she stopped trying to be another artist and became herself. But most people don't understand about their gift. It comes with responsibility. Your talent isn't just for you, it's for the world. When you hide your gift, when you play small, when you choose mediocrity over excellence, You're not just robbing yourself, that you're robbing the world of something only you can give. Somewhere right now, someone needs what you have. Someone needs your unique perspective. Someone needs your unique solution. Someone needs your unique voice. Your gift isn't a burden, Dot. It's a responsibility. And with responsibility comes accountability. Good follows the rules. Exceptional writes new ones. Good fits in. Exceptional stands out. Good is satisfied with meeting expectations. Exceptional creates new standards. The gap between good and exceptional isn't talent, Dot. It's dedication. It's the willingness to push beyond what's comfortable. I remember visiting a small restaurant in Singapore. The owner, a man in his 60s, made only one dish, Dot, chicken rice. But oh, what chicken rice it was. He had spent 40 years perfecting this one dish. People would line up for hours just to taste it. He could have expanded his menu, opened more locations, created a franchise. But he understood something profound, that being exceptional at one thing is better than being good at many things. Your gift demands excellence. It demands mastery. It demands that you push beyond what others consider good enough. Because here's the truth, that good enough isn't good enough if you're capable of better. And you are capable of better. You are capable of exceptional. But exceptional isn't easy. It's not supposed to be. If it were easy, everyone would do it. Exceptional requires sacrifice. It requires focus. It requires the courage to stand alone sometimes. It requires the strength to keep going when others quit. It requires the wisdom to know that your gift isn't just about making a living, Dot. It's about making a difference. When you truly understand your gift, when you embrace the responsibility of your talent, when you commit to being exceptional rather than just good, Dot, something magical happens. The very people who ignored you start paying attention. The very doors that were closed start opening. The very opportunities that seemed out of reach start appearing. Because excellence isn't just about being better than others, Dot. It's about being better than you thought you could be. It's about pushing past your own limitations. It's about setting standards that make others uncomfortable because they reveal what's possible. And when you operate in your gift at an exceptional level, you don't just change your life, Dot, you change lives. You don't just build a career, Dot, you build a legacy. Everything valuable has a price. When I talk about being unforgettable, I'm not talking about fame. I'm talking about impact. I'm talking about becoming so valuable that your absence is felt as much as your presence. Let me tell you about a young musician I met in London every single day. For 8 years, he practiced for 12 hours. His fingers would bleed. His back would ache. But he kept going. People called him obsessed. They said he was wasting his youth. Today, he's considered one of the finest violinists in the world. But here's what most people don't see, Doc. They don't see the relationships he sacrificed. They don't see the parties he missed. They don't see the countless hours of solitude. That's the price of excellence. Comfort is a beautiful prison. It looks good. It feels good. But it keeps you from becoming who you're meant to be. Most people are not failing in life, but they're succeeding at being comfortable. They're succeeding at avoiding pain. They're succeeding at staying in their comfort zone. But comfort is the enemy of greatness. I want you to understand something profound, that every time you choose comfort over growth, you're paying a price. Every time you choose the easy way over the right way, you're paying a price. Every time you choose average over excellence, you're paying a price. The question isn't whether you're paying a price, Doc. The question is, which price are you paying? The price of excellence is paid in advance. Nobody becomes excellent by accident. Nobody becomes unforgettable by chance. It's a deliberate decision followed by deliberate action. It's what I call the principle of daily deposits. Success is not an event, Doc. It's an accumulation. It's what you do every single day that determines where you'll be in 5 years. If you want to be unforgettable, you must make daily deposits in 4 key areas. First, your skill dot every day. You must work on getting better at what you do. Second, your mind dot every day. You must feed your mind with information that makes you grow. Third, your relationships dot every day. You must invest in connections that elevate you. Fourth, your character dot every day. You must make decisions that align with who you want to become. These deposits don't show immediate returns. It's like planting a tree. You don't see the fruit the next day. You don't see the fruit the next week. Sometimes you don't see the fruit for years. But if you stop making deposits, if you stop watering the tree, if you stop nurturing the growth that you guarantee, there will never be any fruit. I've met people who want to be unforgettable but aren't willing to be uncomfortable. They want the recognition without the preparation. They want the respect without the work. They want the reward without the sacrifice. But life doesn't work that way. The universe responds to value. And value is created through sacrifice. Think about the people who are truly unforgettable in their fields. They paid a price that most weren't willing to pay. They made sacrifices that most weren't willing to make. They stayed up late when others went to sleep. They started early when others were still dreaming. They worked through pain when others saw comfort. They kept going when others quit. The price of being unforgettable isn't just about what you do, it's about what you give up. It's about saying no to good things so you can say yes to great things. It's about missing out on immediate pleasures for long-term fulfillment. It's about being misunderstood today so you can be unforgettable tomorrow. Paying the price of excellence, once you pay it, nobody can take it away from you. Once you develop that skill, once you build that character, once you establish that reputation, it becomes yours forever. The price is high, but the reward is higher. Remember this, the pain of discipline weighs ounces, but the pain of regret weighs tons. The discomfort of growth is temporary, but the pain of staying where you are is permanent. The sacrifice of excellence is difficult, but the cost of mediocrity is devastating. Being unforgettable isn't about being perfect, it's about being committed. It's not about never failing, it's about never quitting. It's not about avoiding pain, it's about embracing the process that leads to growth. When you look around in society today, you see something disturbing, people celebrating average. People applauding mediocrity, people settling for less than their potential. But I'm here to tell you something, average is not your destiny. Average is a choice. And excellence is also a choice. I was in Japan recently visiting a sushi restaurant. The master chef there, in his 70s, still arrives 3 hours before opening to personally inspect every piece of fish. Someone asked him, "Why do you still do this yourself after 50 years? His response changed my life. He said, "Because the standard isn't what others expect of me. It's what I expect of myself." When you create standards that transcend expectations, you enter a realm where competition becomes irrelevant. You're no longer competing with others, you're competing with your potential. This is the psychology of excellence. Excellence isn't about being better than someone else, it's about being better than you were yesterday. Standards such as thermostats, not thermometers. The thermometer adjusts to the environment, but a thermostat sets the environment. When you walk into a room, do you adjust to the standards there? Or do your standards change the room? This is what separates the unforgettable from the forgettable. Your personal brand isn't what you say about yourself, it's what you do consistently. It's not about the logo on your business card, but it's about the standard you maintain when nobody is watching. I met a janitor in a hospital who polished the floors in the emergency room until they shone like mirrors. I asked him why he put so much effort into something that would get dirty again. He said, "Because when people walk into this hospital, these floors are the first thing they see. Their confidence in this hospital starts with my work." That's what I call transcendent standards. That's what I call personal branding through consistency. You see, your brand is being built every single day, whether you realize it or not. Every interaction, every decision, every piece of work you produce, it's all building your brand. Standards, they're either rising or falling. They never stay the same. When you accept average in any area of your life, you start a downward spiral that affects every other area. But when you raise your standards in one area, it creates an upward spiral that elevates every other area. The people who are truly excellent at what they do, they don't have two sets of standards, one for important things and another for small things. Excellence becomes their habit. It becomes their lifestyle. It becomes who they are, not just what they do. This is why average standards produce average results, because you never rise above your standards. If you accept average work from yourself, you'll get average results. If you accept average relationships, you'll have average connections. If you accept average growth, you'll have average impact. But when you create standards that transcend expectations, something magical happens. The world starts adjusting to your standards instead of you adjusting to the world's standards. Opportunities start finding you. Excellence starts attracting excellence. Your personal brand becomes synonymous with exceptional quality. Every time you work, you're creating your future. Every standard you set, every decision you make, every action you take, it's all creating the brand called you. And in a world full of average, excellence stands out. In a world full of noise, consistency speaks volumes. Success comes with a revelation that most people aren't prepared for. Excellence often walks a lonely road. But today I want to speak to those of you who felt the sting of standing alone, who've tasted the bitterness of rejection, who've experienced the weight of being misunderstood. I met a young entrepreneur in Dubai who had an innovative idea for sustainable energy. When she first presented her concept, people laughed. Her own family told her to get a real job. Her friends called her idea impossible. For 2 years, she worked alone in her garage, refining her prototype. Today, her technology is being implemented in 3 different countries. But here's what struck me about her story. She said the hardest part wasn't the technical challenges. It was dealing with the loneliness of believing in something nobody else could see. When you decide to be excellent, when you choose to stand out, you make a lot of people uncomfortable. Why? Because your excellence exposes their excuses. Your courage highlights their comfort. Your dedication reveals their complacency. But here's what you need to understand. Criticism is the tax you pay for being exceptional. Most people are trapped in what I call the approval trap. They're living their lives based on other people's expectations. They're making decisions based on other people's opinions. They're pursuing dreams that belong to someone else. But freedom comes when you realize this profound truth. The people who criticize your journey usually haven't left their comfort zone. The loneliness of excellence isn't a curse, it's a filter. It separates those who want success from those who are willing to pay its price. When you're working late while others are partying, that's loneliness. When you're studying while others are sleeping, that's loneliness. When you're saving while others are spending, that's loneliness. But this type of loneliness is actually solitude with purpose. Criticism has no power except the power you give it. I've seen people with extraordinary potential allow criticism to stop them dead in their tracks. But I've also seen people use criticism as fuel for their fire. The difference isn't in the criticism, it's in the response to the criticism. When you understand who you are, when you're clear about your purpose, when you're convinced about your vision, criticism loses its sting. You see, people's opinions of you are none of your business. Their criticism says more about their limitations than your potential. Breaking free from the approval trap requires something powerful about self-approval. You must become so secure in who you are that the opinions of others don't shake your foundation. This doesn't mean you become arrogant. It means you become anchored. It means you develop the courage to say, this is who I am. This is what I believe. This is what I'm going to do. But let me warn you about something, that the higher you rise, the more critics you'll attract. The brighter you shine, the more some people will try to dim your light. This is normal. This is natural. This is part of the process. Your job isn't to silence the critics. Your job is to render them irrelevant through your excellence. The courage to stand out isn't about being different for difference's sake. It's about being true to your potential regardless of the consequences. It's about being willing to stand alone temporarily so you can stand out permanently. It's about understanding that your uniqueness is not a mistake to be corrected, but a gift to be expressed. Every great innovation, every significant breakthrough, every remarkable achievement started with someone who had the courage to stand out. Someone who was willing to be misunderstood. Someone who was prepared to walk alone. The crowd will try to pull you back to their level of comfort. But leadership begins when you decide that your potential is more important than your comfort. Excellence begins when you decide that your standards are more important than others' opinions. In the pursuit of excellence, there comes a moment when you realize something profound about your life is not just about you. The excellence you pursue today becomes the legacy you leave tomorrow. This isn't about building monuments to yourself. This is about creating pathways for others. I was in South Africa, visiting a community center in a township. There was a woman there who started teaching computer skills to young people 20 years ago. She started with one old computer in her living room. Today, that single computer has become a technology training center that has helped thousands of young people find employment. When I asked her about her greatest achievement, she didn't talk about the center. She talked about her first student who now runs a successful tech company and has created jobs for 30 other people. That's the power of excellence. IT creates a ripple effect that continues long after you're gone. When you pursue excellence, you're not just building a career, you're building a legacy. You're not just creating success, you're creating impact. You're not just opening doors for yourself, you're building doors for others. Recognition isn't about what people say about you when you're around. It's about what continues to happen when you're absent. True legacy isn't in the applause you receive. It's in the lives you transform. It's not in the achievements you accumulate. It's in the standards you establish. I met a business leader who transformed his industry not through what he achieved, but through what he inspired others to achieve. He said something that stuck with me. Success makes you valuable, but making others successful makes you invaluable. When you focus on creating opportunities for others, your impact multiplies. One person can only do so much. But when you empower others, your influence becomes exponential. Every person you help become excellent becomes a center of excellence themselves. Every person you mentor becomes a mentor to others. Every standard you raise becomes a new normal for those who follow. This is how you build lasting influence. This is how you create impact that outlives you. But building a legacy of excellence requires something most people aren't willing to give their time. We live in an instant gratification world where everyone wants microwave success. But legacy is slow cooked. It's built day by day, decision by decision, action by action. It's built through consistency, through persistence, through unwavering commitment to excellence. Let me share something powerful about creating opportunities for others. IT often requires you to see in them what they don't yet see in themselves. When you operate in excellence, you develop an eye for potential. You learn to see beyond people's current circumstances to their possible future. You become a mentor not just through what you teach, but through what you demonstrate. I remember meeting a teacher who worked in what many considered a failed school, but she refused to accept that label. She started treating her students like future leaders, future innovators, future change makers. She held them to standards that seemed impossible at first. Today, 15 years later, her former students are doctors, engineers, entrepreneurs. Why? Because she understood that excellence isn't just about personal achievement, Doc. It's about creating an environment where others can excel. Your excellence becomes a platform for others to stand on. Your standards become a ladder for others to climb. Your achievements become proof of what's possible for others. This is why excellence can never be selfish, Doc. Its very nature is to multiply, to spread, to inspire. Building lasting influence isn't about position or power, Doc. It's about impact and inspiration.
We appreciate you joining us today. May the wisdom you've heard shape your vision, strengthen your faith, and lead you toward lasting success.